Welcome back to San Mateo County Today. I'm your host, Marshall Wilson. Now I'm joined by Mark Church, our Chief Elections Officer, who's going to tell us how to vote here in San Mateo County. And if you didn't know it, we're making history. We are the first county in California that's going to conduct an all-mail-in ballot here in 2015. So, Mark, thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Marshall.
So tell us, how does this work and how did it come about?
Well, you're right. This is the first time in the history of the state of California that a county will be conducting an all-mail ballot election countywide for a local consolidated municipal school and special district election. And so the state of California will be looking at the effects of the all-mail ballot election, how it affects all segments of the community, and how it affects turnout and election costs. This came about as a result of an expansion of our existing pilot program. Initially, the legislature enacted a pilot program for Yolo County, an all-mail ballot election program for Yolo County. And last year, the state legislature enacted Assembly Bill 2028, which simply expanded that pilot program to include San Mateo County. And the purpose of including San Mateo County was to allow for the collection of data from an urban county to complement the data from Yolo County, which is a rural county. And the idea behind that is to provide the legislature with a more complete picture of the effects of all-mail ballot elections. I think San Mateo County was chosen for this primarily because we are an urban and diverse county. Our all-mail ballot infrastructure is already in place. We have experience in conducting all-mail ballot elections. And there is a growing trend in this county to vote by mail. So this legislation authorizes us to conduct up to 3 all-mail ballot elections over a 3-year cycle, and it expires on January 1 of 2018.
And how are you getting the word out to people? Obviously, thank you for appearing on our show today. This is one means. But I received a postcard at my house informing me about the all-mail-in ballot. So how are you getting the word out to people, and how does it work? I'm the voter. What am I going to see at my house, and how do I get my ballot back?
So it's very, very important that we do get the message out that this is a different kind of election. This is not a traditional polling place election. This is an all-mail ballot election. So the postcard you received is one example of how we're getting that word out. We will have multiple direct mailings to the registered voters throughout the county. We just sent out a second postcard the other day. We recently sent out our sample ballot, and everyone should be receiving this shortly. And this sample ballot and voter information pamphlet contains valuable information about voting options for the voter. And so we're utilizing mailings, and we're also utilizing traditional media, television, radio, newspaper. We're trying to get public service announcements out, and we'll be using different media platforms such as social media, Twitter, and we will have billboards throughout the county, and of course, my bilingual staff is attending numerous community events throughout the county just to get that message out.
And we're saying it's an all-mail-in election, but the truth is you don't necessarily have to mail in your ballot. There's something called, what I understand now, universal polling places that people can go to on election day, and there's also, they can go to their city clerk's office, I believe, beforehand and drop them off. So if you can tell us about all those different options.
That's exactly right. Although we call this an all-mail ballot election, you can still vote in person if you want. And the law requires that we have at least one polling place in each of our 20 cities. In fact, we have 32 polling places throughout the county. And these are called universal polling places. And they are unlike our traditional polling places. They are connected with our countywide voter registration database so that we will be able to determine in real time whether a person has voted previously, and so that will reduce the amount of provisional ballots. And what the universal polling place means is that you can vote at any location in the county. So if you live in Daly City and you work in Redwood City, you don't have to race home to Daly City to vote. You can go to any one of the universal polling places in Redwood City and receive your specific ballot type for Daly City in Redwood City.
And I think one of the reasons for the mail-in balloting is efficiency on the part of using taxpayer funds most efficiently. And then also, I think you've seen a greater trend now of people voting by mail.
Voting by mail has been the trend, and it's growing in popularity. I think it's growing in popularity simply because it's easy and convenient. We start mailing the ballots out 29 days prior to the election day. Voters can vote in the comfort of their own home and take their time to vote. And so it certainly is the trend and growing in popularity. And as I said, voters can vote in person at any of these universal polling places if they want. And if they find that they haven't mailed the ballot in time, the ballots have to be postmarked by Election Day. And they have to be received by us within 3 days after Election Day in order to be counted by law. But if they're getting close to Election Day and they want to drop it off, they can do so at any one of our 20 drop-off locations throughout the county. The drop-off locations are at each city clerk's office, at every city and town hall in the county, and they're open during Monday to Friday, regular business hours, and on Election Day till 8 p.m.
And with the mail-in balloting, I know this has gone on sometime with absentee balloting, but how am I sure as a voter that my ballot has been received by your office? I fill out my ballot, I make sure I sign the envelope, I have postage is already provided by you on it, I drop it in the mailbox. How do I know as a voter that you've received my ballot?
If they go to shapethefuture.org, which is our website, www.shapethefuture.org, they can go to the prompt, the voter, and another one, check out my voting status, and it will tell the voter if the ballot has been received by us and when it has been received.
So that way you get that confidence that, yes, my ballot, my vote counts.
That provides the confidence to the voter to make sure that their ballot has been received.
And this, as we mentioned before, is a pilot program. How do you go about, what are the metrics of success? How do we say this worked, this didn't work? Where does it, you're going to be compiling a lot of information, I'm sure, and comparing it to past elections. How do you gauge success? Or maybe it's not successful, I don't know.
The purpose of the program is to analyze the effects of all mail ballot elections on the community. And the legislature and the Secretary of State will be looking at the effects and the impacts on voter turnout, demographics, and election costs. And at the conclusion of this election, we will prepare a report and submit it, as we're required to do by law, to the legislature and to the Secretary of State. They will take that data, analyze it, and make a decision as to whether or not to embrace all-mail ballot elections, as some other states have, as they move forward and make decisions regarding election laws affecting the entire state. So what happens here in San Mateo County is very important to the state legislature and to the election process. And I might add that this pilot program is limited to three elections during the 3-year period, and it applies only to local consolidated elections and one local special election.
So here, we're taping this at the very start of October. When should I, as a voter, expect to receive my ballot? And how do I go about ensuring that I really am a registered voter and I'm getting, I know what I need to do here for more information?
Well, as I indicated, voters should receive this at any time, beginning of October, and this is the sample ballot. As far as the official ballot is concerned, this will be mailed starting the week of October 5.
Okay.
And it comes in an official-looking envelope like this with the county seal. And the ballot will be mailed, the specific ballot for each voter will be mailed to that particular voter together with a return envelope. And this is a postage prepaid envelope. So the voters should complete their ballots, put it in the return envelope, and it's important to remember to sign the envelope on the back side. Signature is required by law, and we do check every signature to verify that it indeed is the signature of the voter.
Do you think this is going to be part of a growing trend? If it's successful, that maybe someday we're going to be voting by mail for the president and senators and everyone else? Where do you see the future of voting going?
Well, I think that's the idea. I think that's what the state legislature is looking at. That's why they have chosen San Mateo County to conduct this pilot program, to use that data to make that decision. We know that other states have embraced all-mail ballot elections, Oregon and Washington and Colorado. And so whether it's an all-mandatory vote-by-mail program or whether it's an opt-in by county vote-by-mail program, we don't know. That will be a decision for the legislature if they do decide to go that route.
Great. Any final thoughts?
Just that it's important to vote. That's the most important thing. I want to remind everyone to please complete these ballots and get out and vote. And whether it's in person or through the mail, we encourage everyone to do that. And again, if anyone has any questions, they can contact us by phone at 650-312-5222, or they can email us at registrar@smcare.org, or they can get more information on our website.
Terrific. Mark Church, our Chief Elections Officer, thank you very much. And I'm looking forward to finding out how the returns come out, both for who wins and also on the status of the all-mail-in ballot, how that goes.
Yeah,
thank you for joining us on San Mateo County Today. Please join us again next week. Thank you very much.